Okay, welcome back to Farm Fit Goliath Games Prep Episode 3. This is a twofold episode. I will be going over my training to talk about how I'm feeling, but I will also be talking about how I feel physically and mentally because I have done an update to my body composition. On January 7th, I weighed in at 252.6 pounds and took all my measurements. I covered that in a previous video, but I'll just go over them briefly here with you. Chest was around 49 inches, waist 43 and a half inches, navel 47 inches, bicep, my right bicep was slightly bigger than my left at 16 and 3/4. The left bicep was 16 and a half. Glutes 45 and a half. Hamstrings were the same at 27 and a half, and calves were the same at 16 and a half. So I went into a deficit after January 7th and upped my training. I was doing 5 days a week, still am doing 5 days a week, including 2 pressing days, deadlift, squat, and my event day, which is probably one of my favorite ways to break down my training. I just find that that's how I get the most out of my training and the most out of myself. I was also doing cardio, although I'll be honest, not consistently. I would have a week where I would do 3 or 4 days in a row at half an hour on the treadmill and feel really good about it. And then I would go a week or two without doing any. So admittedly, cardio was not great. I was trying to just get my steps in, and I know that I wasn't doing a good job doing that. And I know I need to do better. So going forward, I have set up some systems to be able to do better, to give myself a better opportunity to get those steps in. So previously, not long ago, about 7 weeks after I did my initial weigh-in, I did another weigh-in and took my measurements again. And the results were promising. So I weighed in at 248.8 pounds. So down around about 4 pounds, which isn't much on the scale. But the thing I need to preface that with is that weigh-in was after a big refeed because I was starting to feel dogged. I was starting to feel run down and beat up. The week of training leading up to taking my measurements again was not a great week. Deadlifts weren't great. Pressing wasn't great. I felt sore. I felt tired. I felt beat up. So my nutritionist, Tamara, and I decided that we would bring my calories up and get closer to maintenance rather than stay in the deficit, as we are about 5 or 6 weeks out from Goliath Games. I don't want to be too beat up going into it, so I'm trying to bring my nutrition back up because I have a lot of room to play with. At 248 pounds, I have to be under 264 to weigh in. So I've got lots of room to be able to play with. This is going to be the first competition for strongman that I'm not going to have to cut the week of, which is insane to think about, but also a nice problem to have. So that 248 was probably closer to 245, 244 on an empty stomach without the refeed. So I'll take that, if I can do that over the rest of the year and maintain my strength, next year might be a 105 athlete next year. We'll see. And then we took the measurements, and my chest came in at 46 inches. So I had lost 3 inches on my chest, and right where Tamara had predicted I would lose it, which was around the armpits. She expected that that's where, because I carry a lot of extra fat there, she figured that that's where I would lose most of it. And that's where I did. My waist, I lost half an inch, not a big deal. Navel, I lost 2 inches. So not too bad. Everything else was about the same. Not too much to report on in terms of what I lost or what I didn't lose. But the definition's starting to come through too, which is good mentally. It doesn't help in strongman to have the definition, but it helps me mentally because, I'm a bit of a narcissist and I like how I look. Sue me. So that's how the measurements are going. That's how the weight loss is going. And everything now feels a little bit better and feels a little bit more on track. I'm just going to bring my training up here. So that week that I mentioned, that not great week of training, I had squats that didn't feel great. I wanted to do more. I had 2 sets of 5 and 2 sets of 3. I only managed 407 on the triples, which is not like me. Not anywhere close to what I want to be. 18-inch deadlift, I ended up pulling 530 for 2. That was a good win. I was happy with that because anything over 500 pounds lately has been a real struggle for me physically. So to do that even on 18 inches felt like a good win. Pressing was okay. My first day of pressing. Deadlifts is where I really struggled mentally. And this was the first indicator that my weight cut was starting to affect me, because I was supposed to do sets of 6, 4, and then a set of doubles. For my set of 4, I pulled 470. I was like, okay, I can go up to 5 or a little bit past 5. I tried to go 505, didn't budge. I tried to go 500, didn't budge. And by this point, I'd used so much energy that it didn't matter what I tried to pull, I wasn't going to move it. So that was super disheartening. To have my deadlift, which was one of the events going into this prep that I was the most confident in, now I'm the least confident in it. And I know there's still time. We're doing the refeed. I'm telling myself mentally all these things that I need to tell myself to get better, to get stronger, to, power through this. But again, when something doesn't go great, it hits me. It hits anybody. So the key is going to be to get my carbs back up, get my protein up, and see how we feel going forward. After that, log press also didn't go great. 3 singles. I had aspired to 265 or better. I ended up getting 255, and it was an RPE 10, to say the least. That maxed me out, which is fine. It's the most I've pressed since I started back doing log press, so I'm trying to take that as a win. But again, it was like, okay, I can do more than this. I need my strength back. Again, just another sign. So Thursday night, I had a big carb meal, went outside of my calories. I went outside of my meal plan, had more carbs to get ready for my event day on Friday, which was kind of hit and miss. I had double dumbbell, 3 sets of 2, and only managed to do the 95s. I wanted to do the hundreds again for doubles, but didn't get there. But the 95s I took. But then yoke went really well. I had 4 sets, 10 meters, and I did 670 twice. That's 10 pounds over comp weight. The first time I wasn't happy with it. I dropped it once. And then I watched the video back and I was like, okay, I'm tired. My legs are gassed. But then I watched the video back and I realized my hands weren't in a great spot. So I wanted to do it again. So I redid 670, put my hands in a different position, and did it in one run. So that was a big win. That's a big mental win for me, that I can move 670, which again is 10 pounds over comp weight, and move it well. I got to do 100 feet, not 10 meters, which is only about 34-ish feet. So I got a long way to go, but I'll take it. Farmers, I had 30 meters, 2 sets, and I only managed to do 200 pounds per hand. Again, just being gassed. So going into this week, I know I need to do better. I know I need to be better. I know that I can do better and I will do better. So that's basically the gist of where I'm at for my training right now. That's about the gist of how things are going. A little bit down on the physical side and then by proxy mental side, but it's all because of my nutrition. And the nutrition did what it was supposed to do. Maintain some of my strength, most of my strength, help me lose weight. So now I got to bring it back up. Now I need more energy back into my nutrition so that I can really hammer it in for these final 6 weeks. And that starts this week. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how everything goes this week with adding the calories back in, the carbs and the protein. And I will reconvene next week. So until then, stay strong. Also, to all of my fellow strongman peers that are competing this coming weekend at the Arnold Strongman Classic, good luck and Godspeed. There's a few of you that I know that are going, and I don't want to name names because I'll forget somebody, so I'd rather just not name anybody, and then I hurt everybody's feelings, so it's fine. But I just wanted to say good luck and Godspeed, and I know you guys will represent Strongman Corp Canada and represent yourselves to the best of your ability. And, for what it's worth, I'm proud of you, regardless of how it turns out, because I'm not there. So it's easy for me to sit here and be proud. But until then, guys, stay strong, and I will talk to you next week.